welcome to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I'm Wisemimir, and last episode we were handling starting our trial. Mr. Edgeworth, you owe an explanation to the court. Oh, right, we objected last episode because Edgeworth didn't explain who his witness was at all, and why they didn't testify. Why didn't this witness testify in the trial against Miss Maya Fey? I'm ever so sorry. Mr. White is a busy man, and besides, at the time, I thought Miss May's opinion was all that would be needed. Again, my sincerest apologies to the court. Excellent, Mr. Edgeworth. I appreciate your demeanor. The judge. Easily swayed as ever. Great. He gets to show off, and I get nowhere. I would like to call Mr. Red White to the stand. Please state your full name. You wish to know the title of my personage? Your name. Yes, that is what I said. Oh dear, do my elocutions confuse? Is that even a... I'm done questioning if those are even words. Name. These two are great together. Yeah, they play off each other well. My name is Red White, but my friends call me Blanco Nino. I think that's Nino, but they forgot the tilde over the the inye. I am the CEO, or to use a more common term, the president of Blue Corp. I feel like president and CEO are two different titles. I could be wrong. Did you know the victim, Miss Mia Fey? That would be a negatory. No, I did not. You were at the Gatewater Hotel the night of the murder. Correct. And you witnessed the murder from there. Ahem. Why tell you what you already know? Very well, Mr. White, you may begin your testimony. Oh, great. If I can't rip this guy's testimony apart, I'm done for. Why do I always feel like it's the end of the world and I'm the last man standing? Ho! Sorry. Ho ho ho. Suddenly he's Santa. That smug grin. Can't wait to wipe it off his face. I hope you have made your peace with God, Mr. Lawyer. Let him have it, Phoenix. Yes, let's tear down Blanco Nino's testimony. Witness's account. Let's see, it was 9 o'clock, I believe. I was quietly perusifying, that's reading to you, some papers by the window. Then I heard a bedlam coming from outside. Surprised, I turned to look at the building across the way. It was then that I saw him, a spiky-haired man attacking a woman with long hair. Needless to say, that man was none other than you, Mr. Lair. I called Miss May over at once. She, too, was flabbergasted, of course. The victim, she ran away, but you gave chase. Finally, there was a terrible impact, then it was all over. If things occurred as you testified, then I'm afraid the defendant is guilty. Very well, defendant, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Witness's account. I'm not reading all that again. Okay, nothing here. No point in pressing here. Nothing here either. Yeah, pressing that's not gonna do anything for us. I could probably present Miss April May's testimony, but it doesn't conflict too much here. Like, what matters isn't what he says he saw me and she says she saw Maya. No. What matters is this statement. We want to press this, and we want to basically see which direction he thinks we ran, or claims we ran. Can you be a little more detailed about that? I think it's worth knowing exactly what happened. Of course! Comprende, I understand. The victim was attacked by you and you ran to the left. The victim dodged an attack, then ran to the right, but she was caught and struck. Just pointing out the contradiction there, before we present the evidence. You gave chase and struck her down. Are you sure? As you know, I am always absolutely perfect. Perhaps you could change your testimony to reflect this new detail. Yeah. So that's where the bellboy picked up that word. Although, it's a little bit different there. Absolutely. Overconfident ass. Yeah, let's what? I thought I clicked on present, apparently I didn't. The victim ran to the left and I gave chase. Bullshit. Wait right there. Mr. White, you've dug your own grave. What is this? You said the victim ran to the left, but that directly contradicts Miss May's testimony. She clearly stated that the victim ran right. Oh ho ho, it's simple. You misheard her. I think not. Look at the floor plans. The killer was here. The victim here. The victim ran to the left. If the victim ran to the left as you claim, she would have been running directly away from the door. She would have been running into a dead end. Don't you find that odd? Very strange. I did see her run to the left. I did. Phoenix, look at his face. I don't think he's lying about this one. He's not. True. Maybe he really did see the victim run left. So, he did witness the killing. Wait a second. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Miss May says right, and Mr. White says left. Can you explain this contradiction to the court? Both are right. Both witnesses are telling the truth. For once. Ha, I doubt it. Rather, that does not clear up the contradiction. There is one scenario that would explain their conflicting accounts. What? Obviously, the witness was not viewing the crime from the hotel. Mr. Wright, what do you mean? Yes, what do you mean he was not viewing the crime from the hotel? If he was not in the hotel, where could he have been? In the law offices of Fay & Co., of course. More specifically, he was standing here. Time to show the court where he was standing. This is where he was. Look, when the victim ran for the door, if he was watching from this point, to him it would appear that she ran to the left. Please, this is no time for jokes and ill taste. That is where the killer was standing. Exactly. Order. I will have order. Anyone disturbing the order of this courtroom will be held in contempt. Mr. Wright, what are you suggesting? Mr. White is the murderer, of course. Rapscallion! I love making them freak out like that. The postulations of the defense are a distortion of the truth, Your Honor. Indeed, they do seem a bit far-fetched. No, far-fetched is a Pokemon. Ho ho ho! Ah, Purple Santa returns. You provide us with so much entertainment, Mr. Lawyer. What now? He's laughing? The hilarity of the moment made me remember something. It appears I have been unclear, and for this I apologize. Mr. Your Honor. Mr. Your Honor. Wow. I play for this game a lot. I forgot he did that. Might I be allowed to testify once more? Very well. Let's hear your revised testimony. Good luck, you can't fix a broken testimony, buddy. She ran to the left. Miss May's testimony was correct, as was mine. When you assaulted the girl, she first ran to the left, and then you hit her. Savagely, that is what I saw. Next, with the last of her strength, she ran to the right. That contradicts the autopsy. You chased her and delivered the final blow. That is what Miss May saw. You see, you hit her twice. Don't you remember, Mr. Lawyer? His attempts to frame us are failing. That does seem to make sense. No, it doesn't. Will you be cross-examining the witness's testimony? Of course. You bet I will. I mean, yes, Your Honor. She ran to the left. That's a flat-out lie, and you know it. But what we want is this, so I'll press tab. And autopsy report. Mr. White, the victim died from a single blow. What do you have to say to that? Now is my chance to hit him where it counts. Mr. White, wasn't it you who told this court you were abso-positively perfect? I will refrain from using this phrase from now on. Your Honor, if you could ask the witness for a new testimony. The witness is obviously confused, Your Honor. I would like to request a 10-minute break. Yes, quite. The witness is confused because he's lying. I emphatically request that there be no break, Your Honor. Yeah, we want justice. Don't let him get away. Very well. If the witness would care to revise his testimony, the crowd's on my side. No slipping out of this now, White. Mr. White. Okay. The two accounts. Well, you see, I looked at the other window when I heard that thing fall over. Then, the moment I saw Miss Mia run to the left, the killer, you, attacked her, but she dodged. And then she turned and ran for the door. Then you did her in with a single blow. Flap. Flap? That's a weird sound effect choice. Flap indeed. Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. Mr. Your Honor, my stomach, you see it is hurting. Deal with it. This is almost over. We've caught him in a lie. Well, we've caught him in multiple lies at this point, but... that thing, he couldn't possibly be talking about this, could he? But if that were the case, he couldn't see it when it was full, when it was, an entire thing. Like, yeah, it was standing out of view. So let's press. You heard that thing fall over. What exactly was that thing? Huh? Oh. Oh, that. The glass light stand. Right, the one that had fallen over at the scene. Phoenix? Doesn't something strike you as odd? Yeah, very odd. Yeah, that is odd. I'll press further. Mr. White? Huh? What? You're saying that you saw the glass light stand? Yes. Then change your testimony to reflect that. Sorry, my bad. The witness will revise his testimony. Okay, of course. A light stand was lying on the floor when I looked. And now? There is no way he should have known. And I think we present the floor plan. Mr. White. It was impossible for you to have seen the glass stand. What? Look at this. These are the floor plans to the scene of the murder, yes? Correct, Your Honor. Now look. If you were to look through the window at the office, this is the area you would be able to see. Here. Well, note that the stand is not within the visible area. Well, Mr. White, what do you have to say to that? I mean, parts of the stand are in the visible area, but you wouldn't be able to tell it's a stand. Ridiculosity. Making up words again. Love it. Mr. White, if you were in the Gatewater Hotel, as you claim, you could not have seen the stand before it fell over. In fact, you wouldn't have been able to see it after it fell either. There's no way you could have recognized the broken shards as a glass light stand. So, when did you see the stand, Mr. White? It must have been the moment that it fell. And the only place you could have seen that from is inside the PWAA offices. I'm just gonna check the court record for a bit. Department store receipt. I wonder. In other words, you were at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. Gah! Mr. White. Mr. White? You did it, didn't you? Mr. Your Honor. Miss Mia. Looks like we're about to get our verdict. That's far enough, Phoenix Wright. Well, what? Ugh. I forgot about Edgeworth. Mr. White, I think the time has come. Shouldn't you confess to your crime now? Well, what? I said, you should confess your crime. Ergo, confess that you placed the wiretap. The wiretap? Order. Mr. Edgeworth, explain to the court what you meant by this. Distinguished members of the court. Mr. White is slightly confused. Allow me to explain. I really don't like the way this is headed. As you know, Mr. White is the CEO of Blue Corp. He ordered his secretary, Miss April May, to tap the law offices of Miss Fay. What does that have to do with anything? Your Honor, the question is, when was the wiretap placed in the office and by who? No, you wouldn't. Mr. White, in order to place the wiretap, you entered Miss Fay's office. Am I correct? Correct. You are most correct, Miles. Please don't use the first name basis with the prosecutor. Give me a break. Yes, in order to place the wiretap, I breached the Fay and Kill-Law offices. That is when I saw that accursed light stand. Accursed? What exactly about the light stand makes it accursed, other than the fact that it clearly caught you in a lie? Now, I'm confused. Please explain to the court what all this means, Mr. Edgeworth. The judge will often be confused. Gladly, Your Honor. Mr. Phoenix Wright has made his position quite clear. He has determined that Mr. White knew the class stand was in the office. He has shown that there was only one time Mr. White could have seen the stand, at the very moment of the murder. Thus, Mr. Wright would like you to believe that Mr. White is the murderer. I see. However, it is a fact that Mr. White had been to that office well before the murder took place, when he went to place the wiretap. He could have seen the glass light stand then. Ergo, Mr. Phoenix Wright's theory is revealed for the baseless conjecture that it is. Baseless conjecture? Excuse me. Mr. White, you will testify to the court about this wiretapping. Leave it to me. I feel faint. The wiretapping. It was the beginning of September, the week before the murder. I had entered the Fay and Kill-Law offices. Of course, I had done so to place the wiretap. That is when I saw this glass light stand. So, you saw the stand before the night of the incident. And this is how you were able to identify what had fallen over. By the sound. Correct. That is right. I see very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine. What am I supposed to do now? And next episode, we will begin cross-examination. If you liked this video, leave me a like, a comment, or a subscribe. And stay tuned for more. See you next time on Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.